Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, January 13th. And let me know if my sound is working. Alrighty. I can hear myself now. Sunday, January the 13th. And it's a terrible day for Bitcoin prices. Let's take a look at what's going on right now with the big four. Drag these into place. So this is what the minute charts. So we just had this breakdown in prices just very recently, just cracked down. So I thought it's time to do a live stream while it's actually happening. Let's take a look at those details. All right. Here we are looking at the four charts. We're looking at Bitcoin up in the top corner. We've got Ethereum over here. We've got Stellar, because it's one that I'm watching rather than Ripple. And we've got Litecoin over here. And all four of them started to break this morning. And it was Ethereum that was the bad guy to break first. And we were on our, let's see, this morning on our Discord chat, we had the details here. Damn, there goes ETH at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then the key support breaks down in Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Litecoin came a little bit later. And then while Stellar was holding out the best then, it's not looking very good, and it's cracked down since then. So we started to see some liquidations coming in the market. And then some more liquidations. And so I thought, well, let's go and see what's actually happening in our, in our bull market watch spreadsheet. And I'm not expecting that we're going to be finding a whole bunch of new alerts here today. But what I am looking for is to see if we are finding more markets that are going down to the near fail or the fail category. Because if we get a slew of those, then we know that the downtrend isn't finished yet, and we're going to be seeing lower lows everywhere, more so yet. So that's one of the things I want to look at. Then I want to zoom out on these charts and take a look at where we are in terms of the history of prices. So we can see Bitcoin is inside this 1, 2, 3. Now we have a new number 3. So this is a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that's shaping up for the potential. It's not proven to be a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation until prices actually break above the number 2 point. But this is the building stages of it. And then when we compare against the bottom formation of Ethereum, and where is the price versus the bottom formation? It's still just above all of this support from the past. So it's still sort of already broken out of its bottom formation and sitting on top of it now, retesting its larger sort of the 2 point. And if we look at Litecoin, it's in a similar situation where it's already made a bottom formation with an ascending wedge triangle and broke out above that. And now it's coming back to retest those levels. So while Ethereum and Litecoin are staying above these levels and retesting it, and while Bitcoin is not making new lows and staying within this area, making a number 3 point, all is generally okay for the larger downtrend turnaround, except that it's going to require some more patience. Now, the one thing I want to see is we can see where the Litecoin is versus its bottom formation. It's still up pretty high. So this would not be marked as a near fail in the spreadsheet, nor would Ethereum be marked as a near fail or a fail. But Stellar, when we look at this over, I'm going to go to the 1 day view, And we see over this much time, this is a near fail. It is right at the bottom edge of its support from the last entire year. And this was different than Bitcoin. It really held out really well against Bitcoin as Bitcoin was coming down. This was holding its own until Bitcoin cracked on November the 15th or what have you. And Stellar hasn't been able to take it, and it came back down to these levels. But it's right at key levels that if it breaks these levels, it's got a long ways to go down before it gets support again. So this would be marked as a near fail in the spreadsheet. And this is what I want to look for in today's live stream. So I see we've only got a couple following along. It must be not a good day for cryptocurrencies right now. Nobody's interested. Nobody's interested. So I will go ahead with and look at Ardor. It is not a bottom formation. It's not breaking down to new lows. So it in our spreadsheet, let me pull these out of the way. So here's our spreadsheet, the Bull Market Watch spreadsheet, where we'll go through now horizontally and we'll update each of these for January the 13th. And this stuff is tedious, but it gets to be more and more valuable as this data builds up. It gets to be some pretty cool information that'll really help us when the time comes. So now is the sort of the boring time of going through and collecting this information. And I would say Ardor, it's blank. I'm going to have to put another code at the end here for blank. Let's see if I can just do it. Yeah, that sounds about right. 41. $51 and 47. So now we have a number for the neutral coins as well. That's awesome. Basic attention token. Basic attention token. It was looking like a swing trade entry, then it was fading back to below the swing trade, then it broke down to a new bottom within this range. But it turns out that bottom ties in with support and resistance all the way along the path. So now this gives us a 1, 2, and a potential 3 formation. But as Bitcoin is breaking down lower, this is not coming down to new lows. So that's really key, and it's sort of what I'm wanting to go through and take a look at here. Bitcoin ABC, following right along with Bitcoin, it gave a little bit of strength, which was a teaser. And here's another one that was giving a bit of strength here just before Bitcoin took off. There was a few examples of this, and then it's pulled back, but not as deep. How about this one again? It's pulled back and almost as deep. So seeing these differences are really key as well. BCN is only on Poloniex pretty much, and it's not ready to go anywhere. Bankers Network token is breaking down, but not to new lows. So this is what I want to see. Is it a near fail or a fail? BitShares is also fading off a little bit, but not down to the old lows that it was when Bitcoin was higher. So that relative to Bitcoin is a show of strength. How about Burst? It's still holding out where it was as Bitcoin has faded back. So it's made this 1, 2, 3, the tiny little 1, 2, 3. In time, that could turn into something, but it's not going down to new lows. even clam coin is holding itself above this support and resistance line as Bitcoin is broken. That's pretty cool. I like to see this accumulated data. Okay, here's one that's broken and not down to new lows yet, but it's definitely a near fail, and that is Civic Coin. And we had Civic Coin as a near fail last time, so it's not anything new yet for near fails, where everything's all neutral. Moving on to Dash. Dash is coming down to its own internal number 3, but it's still neutral, right? It's in between the bottom of the bottom formation. If it was down here, I'd say that was a near fail. Or if it was near the top, then it would be an alert. But while it's in between there, it just sort of hangs out and we can't mark it either way. This, even though Bitcoin has come down, Decreed has only pulled back a whisper. So we saw Litecoin really broke, Ethereum really broke, Bitcoin really broke down, but Litecoin and Ethereum did not go down below those support and resistance lines. And here we're seeing a raft of cryptos that have not gone down yet. Digibyte. So another one that was making a great 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here. As soon as we pointed it out, then it all faded back and we're creating a whole new formation here. But really interesting that as Bitcoin is broken, this has not yet broken down to new lows. So relative to Bitcoin, this is stronger. Another one. How about Doge? It didn't jump up as Bitcoin slipped down. Stayed pretty much inactive. EOS, what's going on here? Okay, so this one is the first to have broken some important trend lines. You could still qualify it as the next trend line as support, but this is the first one that's a real clear, except for Ethereum and Litecoin. So EOS, and EOS is one of the top market cap, isn't it? Number 5. So no wonder it is moving so closely with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. They are all the top movers. This one should be in my top of 4 rather than stellar, maybe. Ethereum Classic. Doom, yes, Max. It is looking like Doom. And I'm trying to find biased views to say, here's the only evidence we can see that it is not Doom. And here's where the Doom is relative to typical bag holders research, because this is a 1, 2, 3 top formation. We're just seeing weakness here. This would certainly be qualified to be pulling back further. But the thing I'm looking for to see is, you know, it's in between, so I can't mark it on the spreadsheet as anything. If it were coming down to these levels down below, then I could mark it as a near fail. Or if it was above these, then I could mark it as an alert. But right now it's sort of, it's neutral. It's in between things. And so the system is designed for trading long, looking for bottom formations, because most of the time in most markets you can only buy low, sell high. You can't sell high and buy low. Of course you can in Ethereum. You can trade leverage and you can go short the market. And my spreadsheet should have, like I was working on, changing colors for where it would be going short, so that I'm not just only looking for, is it a bottom formation? Can we hold to go longer, or could we go short or take our profits on these levels? So Ethereum was right on the edge all the way along here, and it's broken. Now if we zoom in on that one to see what's going on and check it out against EOS, which also broke at the same time. They're both consolidating and hovering. So I'm looking to see what's going on with this one's a near fail now from where it is. and I'll mark it as a near fail. So Ethereum did not get marked as a near fail yesterday. It did not get marked as a way that it could be going short and that we could have gone short on this. And the color for that needs to be the same blue. I think that's the blue. Third one down of the first row of blue. Game credits. Also in between, right? It's not near the bottom, it's not near the top, it is floating in between, and we'll just measure it and don't judge it, just keep going. Gas, also in between, fading down. Could this have been an exit order? It could have been, but really in the longer term scope of thing, I'm trying not to jump in and out that much on a small move relative to what we've seen in the past. So for me, I'm willing to hold through these things because we're still above the number 1 point. And that is a flaw of the trading plan. If it does go down against, then you stand to lose more by holding on. And it's this kind of study where we're seeing this one's another near fail. That is, this is what I'm doing it for, is to give myself a graphical, a number index of when to be getting out of this, that the downtrend is continuing, or should I be holding through this exact stuff? I really wish they would remove these markets that are no longer on Poloniex. So Hunter coin, nothing going on here. I would say that it's pretty down near fail, but a little bit lower before I would mark it as a near fail on the chart. KNC, this one has to be marked as a near fail. Look at this direction of this pushing down as Bitcoin's going down. So KNC, Kyber Network Token, gets marked as a near fail. Let's go see what library credits is doing. Not a near fail yet. Loom. Ooh, yeah, that is so close. I'm going to mark Loom as a near fail. Let's get some data going on here. Lisk and Litecoin. Lisk is definitely a near fail. Was it a near fail yesterday? Must have been. No, it was showing a little bit of strength yesterday, so it was near fail the day before. Now it's a near fail again. Litecoin, I guess we would have to say that it is near fail, because if it fails down below this ascending wedge triangle, that's bad for everything. That'll be really not so good at all. This is what I'm really hoping. If we zoom in now on Litecoin, that we're starting to see some turnaround, any kind of tick of turnaround at this technical level is really important right this minute. MadeSafe coin, moving on. This one is, I would have to say, it's a near fail, and I hate it because I'm biased into this coin, but look at where it is compared to old historical prices. Too bad, but I'm going to have to put Made as a near fail. And I'm not selling my Made. Mana. Also, this is a fail. This is down below the lowest it's been here. I'll put it as a near fail because it's probably been lower on Binance before. Navcoin and Namecoin. So Navcoin is still in between. It's not going down to a near fail. This is good to see anything that's not going down. Neos is not listed here anymore. Let's go into Namecoin. So Namecoin I had marked as a near fail, or a fail, or whatever. This is like get out of it now. There's nothing to do in this trade for our trading system, for the simple trading plan. I would want it to pull back and recover a bit and make its 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So if it came back and did something like this and then went higher, that would give me another place to get in. It would show me more momentum is changing. But for now, if I zoom into the 1 week view, 1, 2, 3 times off of that, it's had a couple big skewers down and recovered. It's not fading off as Bitcoin is. It's not my favorite type of trade. And yet, if it breaks higher, you could put a small position on and add on to it if you're proven correct from there. Because it's done against what I figured it was going to do. I never thought much of this, and it did this to me in 2017 as well, where it really took off, and I didn't do anything with it in 2017. NXT. Not doing anything yet. It's still fading. It's got to do some turning around before we can say anything about that. But I guess I would have to mark it as a near fail. So Namecoin, I had it as a fail. I'm trying to get color coding for short positions and taking profits on it. Because this is all testing for the beginning of the bull trend. All of the color coding is looking to see, is it a bull market? That's the question we're answering. Is this the change now to a bull market? Is it now the change? Is it now the change? And so this is the question I'm trying to answer. OMG, this is near fail. It's one more tick down and I'd have to mark it as a fail. And that's bad. That's bad to have any of these markets going into fail territory, because then the bull market is not here and the bear market is continuing. Omni, building up a little bit but not going anywhere. At least it's not a near fail. It's got enough of a strength off this bottom here to just be neutral. Pascal coin, this is coming down. I'm going to have to mark it as a near fail. Even though it's not coming down to the lows of August, it's coming down to the lows of October, December, and pushing against those. So that gets a near fail mark on Pascal coin. Whoops. And I am not liking to count the near fails. PPC. Well, we have Poly here too, but it's so new. PPC, well, it's not a near fail. It's not a fail. It actually could be one of the ones that gives us some pressure and shows some strength here soonest. Quantum, I was really liking yesterday and the day before. Like it was looking like it was about to go quantum. It had a ton of trading volume relative to its market cap, really big. It gave some candles up, and then as Bitcoin has retraced a bit, this has come back. But I can't say that it's a near fail. I would have to leave it as a neutral coin in the spreadsheet. So quantum stays neutral. Then we have rep, which was an alert the last 3 times we did the scan. Rep. Yeah, it was a warning alert. You can see where we actually got into it with our trading alerts from the website and the service that we're doing. We looked at this bottom formation. We saw the RSI divergence, the on-balance volume diverging, and so we put out an alert to buy at this level. We got in, had to hold a bit, and it's profitable now. And while that trade is profitable now, we were looking at deciding if it breaks higher than this, would this be a buy signal? There's some fundamental analysis, some news going on with the Augur project that I was figuring might make this blast off. So I'll leave it marked as an alert, but it didn't switch over to a buy. When we're talking through it, it's just sitting there. SBD, I'll just look at this for fun. And it actually is a bottom formation, and if Bitcoin goes lower, this should go higher. And Siacoin, this is failing down to new lows here. So I'm going to put it as a near fail. And there's another one. I'm not wanting to count these, but I also want to have count of them so that I can make the decisions about what am I doing with my portfolio. SNT. So it pumped up and gave us a buy signal, and it's pulled back down. So there's a fake out breakout of a nice 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. But again, this was on the 12-hour bar, and it still did the same thing to us. It's very tricky to trade and get in those first entries at the bottom of a bottom formation. Getting the moment when the tide changes is always tricky. So we have to assume that as soon as we put this trade on that we are wrong, and that as soon as we can, we put our stop loss up above our entry. And if this happens, then we're kicked out of the trade at a small profit. But it takes attention at the very moment that you're putting on the trade, that you have to be there to get out of that trade if it doesn't prove you correct. So SNT is probably holding in our trading spreadsheet with a stop loss down below these levels. And we'll see how that plays out. Steam was looking like an alert, and it could have been if it ticked a little higher, but it's pulled back as Bitcoin's come down, so it's neutral. So we're up to Steam, and it's neutral. We're going to look at storage and STR next. Storage is, I'm going to have to say it's a near fail, even though I'm completely biased on this project and think it's going to, in the long term, it's going to do huge. Right now, that chart is a near fail. STR, I'd have to say this is a near fail if I didn't already mark it in the sheet from before. Yeah, seeing it was a near fail yesterday too. Pretty treacherous. Got a few more here. Strat and Sys are next. I see there's a few people watching the live stream. Charisma, good to have you here. Thanks for the hello. And we have Max X talking about doom here. For sure, it's looking doomy. If you've got any requests and you want me to take a look at a specific coin on any market, let me know and I'll pull it up. Right now, I'm just going through the routine to see where are everything in the bull market analysis. And this was a good call. This was a good buy signal, and we got out at some good profits up here. Then our stop loss on the second trade got stopped out here, and we're still now just sitting back waiting for this to make some sort of consolidation formation that we could take another stab at this market. But it's neutral, and I can't call it a near fail because it has to come all the way down to these levels. But then again, I called Litecoin a near fail for coming near its breakout levels again. So near fail it gets for Strat. See if I remember that next time I do this scan. Syscoin. Consolidating, it's not breaking down too hard from here. Should I call this a near fail as well because it's broken above this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and now it's sitting on the top of that? If it breaks below that, I'll leave this neutral. Viacoin, I'll call it a near fail. VTC, it's got to be. Well, it's a 1, 2, 3 bottom. It's not pushing down to the lows like Via. Counterparty, I don't think it's a near fail. It's easing off, but it has a bit to go before it's down to a near fail level. XEM was catching our fancy earlier, and even just the last couple days, if we zoom into the 1 week view, zoom in on it, we can see we got a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and it's pulled back, but it's still above the number 3 point. So many of these coins are not making near fail formations. Many of them are. XMR was making a 1, 2, 3 bottom and actually looking so bullish here. was looking pretty good, and then Bitcoin is broken. It's come back down, and I've always been wondering with this one, if I go to a longer term, is this a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that's going to break higher, or is it already down below support and resistance, and this is just bumping up against it and going to be crashing down further? It's certainly a consolidation that once it leaves one side or the other, it's heading quickly. And so now I have to mark this as a near fail in the spreadsheet, and it was yesterday too. Then the last four, we didn't have any markings on them, but I'm betting that's not going to be the same today. Prime coin. Any lower, and I'll mark it as a near fail, but I'll leave it for today. Ripple. Another one, any lower, and I'd have to call it a near fail for the same reason that Litecoin was called a near fail. It's right at making a top formation, and breaks below this level would be disastrous. It would be, we still have a little tiny bit of cushion of space here, of resistance, but it's got to be marked as a near fail. Ripple. Near fail. That's bad. Zcash. Not a near fail. It's got a bottom and it's pulled up and it's staying within that 1, 2, 3 bottom. So there's a first fail. Complete fail. Actually, it's right back to the September 11th prices. So I'm going to mark it as a fail. Though it could be swayed to a near fail, I'm going to mark it as a fail. See if I got the same one. Second down. Second down. So now I copy and paste these formulas into place. It'll count them all up and give us a graphical representation, changing over time. The more data that we get from day to day, the better this chart becomes. So now I just started marking the, let me go back to that. Oops. Yeah, I just started marking the number of coins that are neutral. And I don't think I have a proper color assigned to it yet. And I guess I need a color for sell and go short. And there we go. So this is the next update to the bull market watch. I don't know how long this stream has been. 33 minutes. It's faster today because there is only the data to go through of all of these failing coins. There's no changes to it that were positive. We've got a lot of failing coins coming on, and we'll see where Bitcoin goes down to. Where is our list of 4 here now? And zoom into the 5-minute bars. So that's a pretty deep cut. Pretty deep cut here in Ethereum as well. Well, this is Ethereum and this is Litecoin. And here's Bitcoin. Sharper and then stabilized. This came down and then bled further down. This came down and bled further down as well. Bitcoin seemed to be a sharper and stabilized move. And Stellar had moved up just recently, retraced back, and bounced. So it's really not agreeing, and that's good to see. So more bounce is good. More bounce right now is key. Critical to have more bounce. Zoom in on this to the 1 minute. Zoom in on this to the 1 minute. And then we'll close it up here, just taking a look at the 1 minutes all the way along. See where these are. We'll take a screenshot and return back to this on a regular basis. So if you guys haven't already and you're watching through this and you're just sort of in the zone, checking things out on cryptocurrencies, be sure to come and join us on Discord. We've got a small group that keeps contact on the market and talking about the market 24 hours a day. We're from all over the world. And you are welcome to come and ask us questions about any different market you are checking out. So even though we have this pullback right here, it's still, as a wrap-up, it's not freaking me out. It's a pullback within normal ranges here for Bitcoin for making the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It does, I am getting impatient for sure, but it's at this chart formation, it's still good for building a really good bottom here. The longer it takes here, the more of a bowl shape recovery that we're going to get, rather than a sharp dive and recovery. If it had gone up here and risen up quickly, then we could expect that really sharp dive. But the longer it takes down at this bottom, the more it's going to be an ascending wedge triangle built up here over time, and then that'll be the thing that breaks higher. And then we won't see quite the same thing as I was predicting 2 weeks ago or a month ago. So thanks for tuning in, guys. If you've got any markets you'd like me to take a look at before I sign off, let me know. You can put it in the chat. PHX. PHX made a huge move here and then pulled all the way back. Now it's getting a little bit of pumping, but I'm not expecting any more than double. Isn't that crazy? It is looking nice, but I am expecting that it won't get any higher than the 480 to 500 level, like, no, just doubling from where it is now. And that's crazy to be thinking of talking about something doubling in that short amount of time. But that's the most I expect out of it, because then everybody who's bought into that last pump will be looking to get out at a smallest loss possible. Lun, we were looking at this one the other day. LUN. So we got 7 people joining us now. Good to have you along. I sent out an email saying I was going to do the live stream and put it on our Discord chat as well. It's good to have a few people joining. Lun pulled back with Bitcoin. And even though Bitcoin has made a drop down, this time Lun has gone opposite to Bitcoin. This is cool. This is one of the first ones we've seen really stand completely opposite to Bitcoin as Bitcoin's made the withdrawal here today. And so that puts Lun up into the top here, but it's only on 160 Bitcoin worth of trading volume over on Binance, which makes Lun a popcorn trading strategy candidate. Let me see what Lun has for market cap. Yeah, it only has $3.5 million worth of market cap. It has less than $1,000 worth of market cap in total. And like more than 10% of its entire market cap has been traded here today. So this is the kind of coin that if, you know, just another 100 Bitcoin volume goes into it, it's going to explode into a huge spike upward and back. This is the kind of thing we're watching for as a potential popcorn move. Right at the beginning of the bull markets, this is when this kind of thing will happen, where prices will go insanely high and then drop way back, and it's just the FOMO, fear of missing out phenomenon. So I like to share that in our Discord chat, in our members area, where we keep track of all of the ones that are potential popcorn moves, and we're we're tracking them because they have potential for enormous profits, but you just don't know when. DLT, QKC. QKC has had 2,100 Bitcoin worth of trading volume the last little while. The last 24 hours. And what? That's like 25, a little bit more than 25% of its entire coin market cap traded in the last 24 hours. So what is it about QKC? OPQ. What is it about QKC that is making it so that more than 25% of its market cap is traded in the last 24 hours? And look where the price is. This is a really like a larger term uptrend foothills. Really fantastic chart pattern. Then when we zoom in, it went up pretty much at the same time as Bitcoin went up. It's pulled back a little bit, but didn't really get struggled too hard against what Bitcoin's just been doing. A lot of buying volume, a ton of buying volume, and then the buying stopped and prices relaxed a little bit. Should they relax more down to these levels, I think that buying volume will come back in. That looks very mechanical. Where else do we see that in the history of this coin? I don't know. I may not be able to zoom back far enough to see what that was like here all the way along as you're getting all this buying and buying and buying and buying and buying going on. Then the buying stopped and prices relaxed. Now we're getting that buying starting to come back in. Pretty amazing to see when you can zoom into this moment to see how that the characteristic of this buying really key. So if it pulls back to these levels, that would be a fade, buying on the fade as it's coming back to where this automatic buying started. That would be a good place to be getting in. At the same time, if it breaks higher than these levels, it's also another trading signal. Because, well, yes, it's like almost a double bottom here. 1, 2, 3 almost. You can fudge it a little bit. Yep. And so then a break above these levels would be a buy signal as well. So if it breaks down to these levels, there's a swing trade entry. If it breaks above those levels, there's your breakout range. And it would have the same sort of strategies that we were talking about for most all of these 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakouts. We're either going to buy on the breakout on the strength right here, and hopefully it just takes off. But more often, we want to wait for it to come back and retest those levels. And as it's breaking above here, that would be our buy entry point. We're giving it the chance to do a fake out breakout and come back. So if it breaks out and then it comes back, we just want to skip that whole drama and wait for it to break out, pull back, and show strength off of this support. Then we're better. QKC. So it's a huge trading volume compared to its market cap. A fantastic long-term build of a chart pattern. When you zoom in, we have almost like a great moment to be buying into it. So those generalized things together, you could pick up a small piece of it, add on if you're correct, get out if you're not right. You've got a very nice small range of error here for risk to reward ratio. Really good. I like this chart. So there you have it. We've gone through all of our coins on the bull market watch. And we'll come back and we'll do this live stream day after day after day. And we'll continue to update our data here so that this gets to be more and more significant, more and more important as we are reviewing the markets to see where they are. We'll be able to tell when it's failing exactly, or when it is turning around to be giving us a whole bunch of alerts and buy signals. Great to have you few along. Hopefully the regular return of the daily bull market watch will become more interesting. You guys will tune in each time we have it. If you'd like to get this information more quickly, you can go to introdocryptos.ca, click on the alerts package up along the top, and you can get all this information instantly at your fingertips, always updated. And you get this information not just for Poloniex, but you get it for all of Binance coins as well. So check it out, introdocryptos.ca, and click on alerts. Good to have you along. Good luck for the rest of your Sunday. Hopefully you have a nice, relaxed time with family. Enjoy every minute. Bye for now.